No, it means having the mental capacity to hold a vision for what you want to achieve in your life and then focusing on the things that will get you there. Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sasha, here to support you in living your most abundant life. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 different ways to think about self-discipline so ultimately you can welcome more of it into your life, stop procrastinating and be happier. A lot of us worry that discipline equals that feeling of being suffocated, like being crushed by external forces, suppressing our creativity and spontaneity. This is not true. We're going to dive right in with the reframing, myth busting number 1. Discipline is actually liberating. It actually gives us space to breathe. Now, go with me on this. What takes up so much time and energy is making decisions. It takes so much energy to choose between A and B every single day. And often we're making the same decisions because they're in line with our identity. It's just that we're not conscious of it and we're not making them intentionally yet. And this lack of discipline is really reflecting back to us a lack of knowing who we really are. So not being able to stick with a decision forces us to stay in that indecisive state for longer, and that's where the procrastination lives, where we can't make a decision. Are we going to be person A or person B today? And we normally always end up choosing the same thing. It would actually save us so much time, so much energy if we intentionally beforehand decided, I'm a person who always chooses A until further notice. Like, there's an opportunity for flexibility and fluidity here, of course, but we're talking about self-discipline and employing more in our lives. So if we're like, okay, from now until a point in time when I'm going to make this decision again, I'm going to decide that I'm person A, and therefore every day from now you never have to be in that space of, oh, I'm going to do A and B, and I'm going to do A or B. You just always know that you're going to do A, and that reduces the amount of time you're spent in that indecision and in that procrastination, so you can just go ahead and do A. It's easier, it makes your life easier. So discipline is like putting an intentional structure around who you are. A good example of this might be something like, I'm a person who prioritizes sleep because I love to feel rested and energized in the morning, and therefore I'm going to have the discipline to go to bed at 10:30 p.m. every night, because I know if I go to bed at 10:30 I can wake up whatever time I need to wake up, I've had enough sleep and I'm going to feel good. So making that rule of having a certain bedtime reinforces the identity of I'm a person who prioritizes my sleep. And then it stops you having to every single evening coming up to 9 p.m, 9:30 being like, oh, when should I go to bed today? Like, maybe I'll just watch some more TV, maybe I'll do some more work. Whatever it is, you're removing all that decision making. You're just like, okay, I know that this is what I'm going to do. If you've already made that decision in line with the person that you are or the person that you want to be, then it's easy, you just get to go with it. So for example, if you're a night owl and you love to do your creative work at night, then there's no point in trying to make yourself become a morning person just because you think that that's the best rule to have for whatever reason, or someone told you that you needed to have a morning routine like this in order for you to be successful, whatever the reason is. What you do is, knowing that you're a night owl, is you set a routine or you set boundaries around, okay, I'm going to actually do my work at night. I know that I'm the most creative then, and I'm going to do my work at night, and I'm going to set rules for myself. I'm going to have chill time in the day, I'm going to take naps, whatever it is that you need. You're going to build it around what you actually already like doing. That leads us nicely into reframe number 2. But I don't like being told what to do. Even if it's by myself, I don't like it. Okay, I get it. You're gonna have to trust me a little bit on this one. So many of us don't like being told what to do, and we've learned that discipline is this horrible thing of people making us do things that we don't want to do. But there is a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot where what your mind is telling your body to do and what your body wants to do naturally meet. So where your intuition and your intellect come together, where your intention and your intuition meet, where your body wants to do what your mind is telling it to. And it may take some training and it may take some experimentation, but you will find that there is a natural place and a natural rhythm that your body has, and that all you're doing is you're finding what that is, and then you're putting structure around it and committing to it. And you'll really come to enjoy following your own rules. I know it sounds crazy, but I was totally against, I hated the idea of setting myself rules or having a routine. I love to just free flow through my days, and surprise, surprise, I hardly got anything done. I was so unproductive, and ultimately it meant that I felt bad about myself, and I felt like I wasn't achieving anything or really creating anything or doing anything. And it was true, because I wasn't. But I felt like, oh, but I'm free. But I wasn't really free, because I wasn't fully making space to be myself. So you're using discipline here to amplify the things that you already love. Think about whatever the hobby is that you love, or the thing that you go to do. Maybe you love going bouldering once a week and you always go on a Sunday afternoon with your friends. That's a form of having discipline, is that on Sunday I always go and do this. But you never think of it like that. You just think, I love going to do this, so I'm just going to go and do it, and this is the time every week that we do it. You know you enjoy it, so you just go ahead and go for it. This is what we're trying to create in our lives with everything. Into reframe number 3. Discipline stops you getting stuck and it encourages forward motion. A little sidebar here. Discipline doesn't mean making yourself do things you hate. No, it means having the mental capacity to hold a vision for what you want to achieve in your life, and then focusing on the things that will get you there. So it's kind of the opposite of what we think. It's not going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you moving forward to the things that you want to do. What keeps you stuck is being unfocused and not knowing where to put your attention. Discipline says, I'm a person who wants to achieve these things, and therefore in order to move towards that, I'm going to need to focus on these things, and I'm just going to ignore everything else. And in another way, when you know what's coming, it sort of encourages you to keep moving towards it, especially if there's a reward at the end. It encourages you to power through the present moment, even if something feels boring to you. If you know that there's something that you want at the end, then you'll go to it, even if it's just a feeling, even if it's just a sensation of having achieved or completed something. Like, imagine you were running a race and you just turned up at the start line and the guy was like, oh, actually, there's no finish line, there's no set distance, you just run as long as you want, just go for it, just go ahead and run. Most people would be like, okay, no, I'm not doing this race. Or you would start to run for a bit and be like, I just don't know how fast I'm supposed to run, I don't know how far, should I just stop? Would that mean I finished it at any point? That not knowing is so confusing and leads you to stop in your tracks. There is where procrastination sets in. But the discipline of knowing, okay, I'm going to run 10 kilometers, and when I get there, then I will have finished. And because you know where you're going, you won't get stuck. You know you're on a mission, you know you're going to run that 10k. The self-discipline is setting a reasonable target and then moving towards it. It also adds some anticipation and excitement to have things to look forward to. Say you book a holiday, please, miracles do happen. Say you book a holiday and it's going to happen in 3 months. That build up, that anticipation is part of the journey, it's part of the excitement. And this segues beautifully into reframe 4. Discipline is really thinking about the long game. We talked a little bit about building identity. It's also about building self-esteem. When you have a goal and when you sit down and create something from nothing, it's like you're writing the story of yourself. You are creating the narrative of who you are or who you want to be in this life. It's you telling yourself who you are through your actions, through the choices that you make. And when it's something that you've chosen intentionally and it means something to you, it builds your self-esteem every time you move towards it or every time you work on that thing. There's a really on-the-nose Emerson quote of this, which is, do your work and you shall reinforce yourself. That just completely encapsulates why self-discipline is important and why it will make you happier, because you become more of yourself the more you focus on the things that feel like you being yourself. And work here doesn't just have to mean your career or your job, but it means anything where you are creating value or where you're contributing or where you're providing something. Self-discipline supports you in making the impact that you want to have. What do you create? What impact do you have? It doesn't have to be a grand thing, it can just be in your life. If you want to be a loving friend or a great partner, the discipline is, what do I need to do every day to be that person? One grain of sand doesn't make a whole beach, but all those tiny grains of sand together. So for you, it's all those tiny little steps that you take day after day that create your life. Choose who you want to be and then employ the discipline to take those steps and to shape your daily life so you can become that person. I'm loving you all so much. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. New videos every week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.